Okay, hello and welcome. Can everyone hear me? Can you guys give me like a thumbs up if you're on camera? Doesn't look like anyone's on camera.
We can hear you.
You can hear? Okay, great, great. So welcome everyone to the Sunday night team call. Happy Sunday, August 4th. I'm coming to you from Cape Cod, actually. I don't live here, but I'm here on vacation for a week. And that's one of the awesome things about LifeVantage is you can do this business from anywhere. And so it's really great to be spending a little bit of time with all of you tonight. So just to give a little bit of background of who I am, my name is Phil Tavolacci, and I live in Silver Spring, Maryland with my husband, Jeff. And I have been a physical therapist for 21 years, starting off in inpatient rehabilitation. I've worked with stroke and brain injury and spinal cord injury and multi-trauma patients. And then I went on to work in outpatient orthopedics, did that for a few years, and then started my own private practice in September of 2004. So I've had my own private practice for 15 years. And to share a little bit of my LifeVantage story, my really great friend and colleague, Dr. Kathleen Trost, who some of you might know, she's a Pro 7, almost Pro 8 in LifeVantage. Well, 6 years ago on May 1, 2013, she super excitedly shared that ABC News report with me. And just a little bit of kind of what was going on in my life right then and there. I was moving my private practice. I was consciously downsizing my private practice because I was just so tired and burned out from working 12 to 15-hour days, paying really high overhead in Chevy Chase, Maryland, which is a super expensive part of the world. Managing people. I just, made a decision. I wanted to simplify my life. I wanted a little bit more, time freedom and balance. Not that I knew exactly how that was going to happen, but step one was getting out of a larger practice that I had created, a very large interdisciplinary practice, which I love doing, but as a solo owner, it was just too much to juggle. So anyway, I was in the process of moving that practice and changing it. I was also writing a book. I'd never written a book before. I was basically getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. I was just really burning the candle at both ends. So Kathleen shared that news report with me, and I, quite frankly, was a no. Like many of us, it was like, I'm too busy. There's no way I can possibly add another thing to my life. This looks interesting. But the other challenge for me was I had years before put network marketing in the box of never again. I had kind of dabbled a little bit in network marketing, had come to the conclusion that it just wasn't for me. I just didn't think that I would have success with it, being kind of introverted and, doing my own thing. It was one of the things that I just said, I'm not going to do this again. So anyway, I gave a very polite but firm no. But certainly everything I saw in that news report made sense to me. 5 herbs in synergy that flip a switch on your body and you literally are neutralizing free radicals 1,000,000 times more effectively. That made sense to me. So thankfully, Kathleen just handed me a bottle of Protandim that day and said, I love you, Phil, just take this. And I started taking it. And, I'm not going to go deep into my product story, but basically, in a very short period of time, my physiology just totally changed in a positive direction. And I just had this, aha moment of this is incredible. And, the entrepreneur in me basically said, this is going to be a multi-billion-dollar business. This is going to impact global health. And I'm going to have a lot of FOMO if I don't do this. And so I really shifted gears and decided to join LifeVantage. So anyway, that's just a little bit of background to give a frame of reference. And what I wanted to talk about tonight is just kind of the mindset of when we're sharing with people, that you can choose to have a mindset of education and gifting versus sales. Because sometimes, we can have a negative connotation about sales. And so I identified pretty early on that I had that blockage myself. I found myself saying to myself mostly that I don't want to do sales and I don't want to feel salesy. So I could tell that having that mindset and that philosophy basically was holding me back. It was causing my LifeVantage business to stagnate. And so, what do we do when we find a problem? You then find the solution, right? So I thought to myself for a moment, like, how can I solve this issue? And I decided, hang on one sec, let me just mute. There we go. So what I decided was I was going to do, did I just lose you all? Hang on a sec.
You're good.
No, we're here.
You're good. You're good.
You're good?
You're
I
good.
can't.
Good.
Okay, I can't see you guys anymore. Let me see what happened here. Uh-oh. All right, so I can't see you guys, but you can see me. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just going to keep going. So basically, what I decided to do was to do a life and work review, because I had a clue that maybe I've been doing sales my whole life and just really hadn't put it in that frame of reference. So I went all the way back in time to when I was 10 years old, growing up in New York, about an hour north of New York City, suburban part of New York. And in the fall, there were leaves on the ground, and myself and my friends, we went around the neighborhood and offered to rake leaves like many kids do. So, there was a need that needed to be met, and we had the capability of doing it, and money was exchanged. So that's kind of the definition of sales, right? Exchanging a product or a service for money. So that was my first job, and it was absolutely sales. And then I had to ask myself in my, scenario, did I feel salesy? No. From what I could recall, it was just a need that needed to be met, and I met that need. And I shoveled snow in the winter, the same exact concept. So I moved on a little bit in time. In high school, I worked in a Chinese restaurant in this mall in New York. And same thing. People were hungry. They wanted to eat. I was capable of delivering the food to them and ringing them up. That is absolutely sales, right? A product or service was being exchanged for money. Did I feel salesy? No. I wasn't out hawking people in the mall and dragging them over to get food. They were hungry. They came to the restaurant. They ordered food. I delivered it to them and charged them. Absolutely sales, didn't feel salesy. And then life went on. I went to college and graduate school. I became a personal trainer, and I worked with people, who wanted to lose weight or gain strength or look better or, whatever their desire was. And I traded my time and skill for money. Again, this was a sales job. I didn't necessarily label it as that in my mind. I thought I was just providing a service, but it was absolutely sales. And again, thinking back, did I feel salesy? No. I advertised a little bit to get my business going, but other than that, it didn't feel like I was ever, being salesy, if that's even a word. Went on in time, I waited tables throughout graduate school. You get the idea here. I became a physical therapist. I've been doing that for 21 years. People have, functional limitations. They have pain. They have mobility problems. And I have done training and gone to school and honed my expertise to deliver results in that realm. So I went through that whole process, and I realized I've been a salesperson my entire working life, and I never felt salesy. And so why should this feel anything different? this is the same thing. These are individuals that are being attracted to us because they have specific needs, whether they're health-based needs or time and financial freedom-based needs or community-based needs, whatever it is that they're seeking, that is what we have. And we're kind of beacons for them to come and find those solutions. And yes, it is sales. It's a direct sales company. We only get paid if product goes out. So, we're not being delusional here tonight and saying that we're not in sales. We absolutely are. But it doesn't have to feel salesy when you're in the mode of just sharing information and educating people about what we have to offer them to meet their need or meet their pain, so to speak. So I would encourage everyone who might have this block or glitch in their consciousness to take 5 or 10 minutes and just go through your entire work history. I could almost guarantee you that you've been in sales your entire life. I would say, 98 to 99% of people have been doing sales most, if not all, of their working career. So that was kind of step one for me. And then, can you guys still see me? Because my screen is doing weird things now.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So the second part of what I wanted to talk about was, that cleared up for me one part of the challenge I was having, but it didn't fully clear up the feeling or the energy of not wanting to feel salesy. And so I found myself one day when someone said to me, and I'm sure all of you can relate to this if you've been in this business for a while, when they said, "Is this MLM?" I said, well, actually, the company I work with, it's more like MLG. And I don't even know where that came from. It just kind of popped in my head at the moment. And, they said, well, what is that? And I said, well, it's more like multi-level gifting. And we had a conversation around that. Because really, when you think about what we have in LifeVantage, it is multiple levels and layers of gifts. And so really, if you have the mindset and the consciousness that all you're doing is sharing gifts with people, and people can choose to accept or not accept a gift, that's up to them, but we're in a position of offering a multi-level gift. And so let's kind of go through some of these levels so that it can be on your mind when you're sharing with people, because it feels really good when you share a gift, right? It feels a lot better than if you're trying to sell someone something. And people feel energy, when we're talking to people, they're feeling what we're feeling, even if they don't acknowledge that they have that capability or gift. Human beings are very tuned into feeling what other people are feeling inside. So multi-level gifting, MLG. So what is gift number one? Gift number one, in my opinion, is being invited or being thought very highly of. Think about if you receive a phone call and someone invites you to something and they're inviting you with, sincere interest and excitement and authenticity, and especially if they're complimenting you, like we often do when we invite someone to look at our business opportunity. We share with them, I'm inviting you because you're one of the smartest people I know. You're a successful entrepreneur. You're one of the most compassionate people I've ever met in my life. So that is a gift for someone to receive that kind of acknowledgement and compliment. So that's the first gift we offer to people, in my opinion. Another level or layer of gift is improved health. I mean, I can't tell you guys how much my life has changed because of these products. I mean, I could tell you, but we're not going to go into detail there. But I can say that if this did not enter my life 6 years ago, I would still be having certain struggles and challenges in my body, in my physiology that were really affecting my life. So when I think back 6 years ago to Kathleen handing me that bottle of Protandim and saying, I love you, please take this, that was an enormous gift. And it was just the pebble that started the avalanche, a really good avalanche of improved health and wellness. So another level of gift that we have. A third level of gift is community. I mean, this community, those of you who've been in this business for a while, is this not like the most incredible community of high vibrational, transformation seeking, world improving, high energy, super compassionate people? So being connected to this community is yet another gift that we are capable of offering to people. A fourth gift is the gift of growth and transformation. This is absolutely a personal growth business. We hear it over and over again in events, but even if you don't hear it in events, you know that to be a reality, because in order to expand and grow your business and rank advance, you have got to go to the next level in your own growth and expansion. I know for me, public speaking is not my thing. I don't consider myself to have the greatest gift of gab. So to, do something like this, which is my first time doing this, is out of my comfort zone. But that is what we have an opportunity to do over and over and over again in LifeVantage, is to push those boundaries of our comfort level, because that is the only time that we grow and transform. So yet another layer or level in MLG, multi-level gifting. Gift level 5 is time freedom. I mean, as we grow our businesses, we have more and more choice and flexibility in our lives to do other things. That's what attracted many of us to this opportunity and this platform, is time freedom. I mean, an example for me right now is being here for a week away from my practice. 6 years ago, I was a total slave to my practice. I really could not leave and go on vacations. And if I did, I was stressed the entire time that money was not coming in, my patients were not being treated. It's not a comfortable and fun feeling. So time freedom is yet another gift. The ability to spend time doing things in your life that you want to do, with your family, with your friends, outside of your career or job, is a huge, huge gift. And then another gift, I'll say gift number 6, is financial freedom. Of course, it kind of goes hand in hand with time freedom, but financial freedom is, probably one of the biggest gifts that we are capable of conveying and receiving in LifeVantage. And, I don't think it needs to be expanded upon. Gift 7, playing a part in shifting global health. I mean, that's what's got me really excited, is the impact that we are going to have when we're in 150 countries and when people all around the world are activated with Nutrigenomic products. I mean, I know what it's done for me and for my parents and for my patients and hundreds, if not thousands of people now in my organization. And when I envision that spreading all around the world, no one can tell me that that's not a huge gift. Something that can literally transform public health is one of the biggest gifts I can think of. And then finally, I say finally, but there's probably many more gifts that I haven't even thought of articulating tonight. But gift number 8 is impacting the whole world. And, this, goes with gift 7, but aside from the global health piece, think of what gifts will unfold when there are hundreds of Pro 10s in our company doing the things that they've always wanted to do in the world, but didn't really have the time or financial freedom to do that. That might be creating schools. That might be creating charities, or, doing things that help on many levels with needs that need to be met in the world globally. So that's another huge gift. So, I'm going to wrap it up real quick here because I want to hand this over to our next presenter. But I would encourage everyone with your teams to if you have that block, or if they have that block about not wanting to do sales or feeling salesy, take a bit of time, do a life and work review, see firsthand that you've probably been doing sales your entire life. You just didn't, let it record that way in your consciousness. And then secondly, think of this that we're doing in LifeVantage as multi-level gifting versus maybe multi-level marketing. Not that there's anything wrong with marketing, but gifting just has a better feeling. And again, when you have that feeling, people will feel that feeling. So with that said, I am going to turn this over to one of my friends, my personal chiropractor, my business partner in LifeVantage, Dr. Catherine Caden. We've known each other for a few years now when she joined LifeVantage, and she is honestly one of the most amazing people that I know. She is super brilliant. She is incredibly compassionate. She's an absolute leader in this company. And she is a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor in Rockville, Maryland. And she has a great husband, Thad, and two beautiful boys, Xavier and Julian. And with that said, I'd love to pass this over to Dr. Kat, and she can share more. Are you here, Kat?
I'm here. I know you can't see me. Can
Yes,
you guys
I
all
can.
hear me? Okay. All right. So I'm going to just use the next 9 or 10 minutes and wrap it up on time, fingers crossed, to go over a little bit about Axio. So about 5 or 6 weeks ago, I was talking about my absolute favorite product, which is our NRF2 flagship product, and it ties in so well with Axio, which is probably, it's a toss-up. I'm here because of Protandim, but I really, really love Axio. And I also know that we have so many people in our company who are amazing at sharing information about our products. And I have to say that if you would like some deeper information, I'm going to go down one particular path, but some deeper information, I really encourage you to listen to. I think it was June 23rd. Jill Warner was on the call with the Lupshas doing a concussion overview, and she talked a lot about Axio, and I really love it. So make sure to ask your upline if you can't find that in your back office in your recordings. But let me pull up, let me see if I can share the screen. Always fun to try to figure out how to do technology. Let's see, share screen, because, share. All right, guys, hopefully you can see this. Can everybody see this? Somebody say yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
All right, so, oh, wonderful. Okay, so NRF2 activation for the brain, AKA brain food. So just as a reminder, nothing that I am going to share is about curing, treating, healing, mitigating disease. I'm merely sharing my experiences and with our products and the things that we are legally able to say, and there's plenty that we can say. So without further ado, a little bit about Axio. So my particular focus as a chiropractor is on helping to optimize people's nervous system, their brain, etc. And I'm passionate about our products mainly because there's no question that we're dealing with a society of people, especially kids, who have their brain on fire. One of the reasons I believe that our brain is so on fire is our introduction to technology. Besides the postural shifts of us moving forward and decreasing our brain's ability to communicate with our body from a physical sense, our exposure to increasing amounts of oxidative stress from EMFs and Wi-Fi, etc., and technology itself are turning the fire on in our brain. This is literally causing a problem with the neurodevelopment of our children and our ability for our brains to function. So we're truly being hijacked. If you didn't already know that, I'm sure you did. So when this happens, our brains totally can't deal. They go offline. They're stuck in this flight or fight or a lock of the limbic system, lock and load. And that happens in a part of our brain called the amygdala, which is our fear monger. We get stuck in a very small portion of our brain. And when our brain starts to misfire or disconnect, it messes with our frontal lobe where we process. So people have heard of sensory processing or executive function as issues. That's what this is. And our frontal lobe, like our prefrontal cortex, actually, I think the research is showing that it's not even done until we're like 28 or 29. So if you have to think about all these folks whose bodies are not functioning because their brains aren't functioning. So what do we need to have our brains function? We need our little chemicals called neurotransmitters. And they're these little substances that are released at the end of the nerve fiber. And they basically are the communication system. And most of these chemicals are made in our gut. Like 80% of the serotonin that you need, like to help you go to sleep or for your brain to be happy, is in our gut. That's where it's made. And so it's the source. That's our second brain, if you will. And that main connection between our brain and our body is the vagus nerve. We have millions and millions of neurons in our gut, but our vagus nerve is, oh, somebody's not on mute. Can you guys make sure you're on mute? I cannot do multitasking. Phil, if you can help me out, that'd be great. So the vagus nerve is like the big.
What's he looking for?
Oh, we're all. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Sorry, Kat, I muted you.
Sorry, I saw that.
Can you go back a tiny bit?
I'm good. So it literally, our brain, our vagus nerve is one of the biggest nerves connecting our gut and our brain. And pay attention to this part about the acetylcholine. So kids and adults these days are being prescribed antidepressants, myriad other drugs to combat symptoms that are being, somebody is really off, that's really distracting. Yeah, Jolyn and a couple of other people. All right, so go back. Oh, guys, please. Our drugs are, many other drugs are being used to combat symptoms that are being caused by the myriad things I've already mentioned, like leading to nutrient deficiencies. And then they don't have the needed cofactors on board to assist in making the needed brain chemicals. So they have like leaky guts and leaky brains. And all the symptoms that most of us are seeing for ensue, like all the reasons why people are seeking out like supplements and drugs and all that stuff. So this is truly the neurobiology of disease. So enter Axio. There's probably not enough Axio to come back when people have like their phones unmuted. Maybe I should drink some. So I mentioned this word, neurotropic. Neurotropics are a class of substances that improve brain function, and they're also referred to as neuroenhancers or cognitive boosters. And sometimes they're synthetic and sometimes they are natural. Our particular product is obviously natural, and them to improve focus, motivation, memory, mood, and cognition. And each of them depend on different processes of your brain, and so you can use different substances to affect these different functions. So enter Axio. It is our brain food. It improves mental endurance, mental acuity, concentration, and memory and retention. It enhances neurotransmitter function, like I mentioned.
Hey, Kat, hold on a sec. I'm going to mute all, and then I'm going to unmute you. Hold on a sec.
Okay, great.
Okay, try again.
Okay, because that was super distracting. It increases a positive mood. It's clean, low carb, a low calorie vegan formula, and gluten-free as well, which is very important to me. And BSCG approved means banned substance control group, so people can use it who are Olympic athletes and other athletes without it being considered performance enhancement, which is a really big deal. So hopefully you're starting to see the connection here between why Axio is truly brain food, or why we call it our executive function drink. Basically, this is NRF2 technology for your brain, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier. As I mentioned before, here's a visual that's a little bit, sometimes it's more aesthetic. You know, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, or sweeteners or sugar or GMOs and gluten. There are two decaf and 3 caffeinated flavors. The caffeinated flavor is the one that has the DMAE in it, although there's tremendous benefit even to the Axio decaf that does not have DMAE in it. And we're going to just talk briefly about those ingredients. I took this right off of our website. We have tremendous amount of information in our back office. In the library section under communications, there is a whole PowerPoint on Axio that is compliant because it's put out by our company. So I invite you to check back in your back office. But one of the things that's very exciting to me as somebody who takes care of kids and pregnant women and just people whose brains are really not functioning, because when your body's not going to function, and that's who comes into a chiropractor's office. And so DMAE is one of my favorite things because it used to, back in the day, be used before Ritalin existed and before things to really like soothe the brain. Some people say that it helps to produce acetylcholine. My understanding actually is that it helps to make choline available, preventing it from getting too metabolized. And that is really what our vagus nerve makes and needs, and we need for our entire body to function, to be able to get out of that flight or fight state. So DMAE is so key for that. Green tea, obviously we want to have natural energy boost. There are myriad benefits to having green tea. Many of you have heard of pine bark is being used in myriad different brain supplements out there because it helps support mental performance, and there are so many articles that you can drive yourself absolutely crazy, but that's not the point of taking Axio. Magnesium is very soothing to the body, helps support so many of our body's processes. You need it on board to even be able to make mitochondria. Our B vitamins also help us to be able to use all of the above. We use a methylated B12, which is so key for energy, and then you need these other B vitamins to help support all of the other processes in our body. Most of the time when people are tired or they have nerve pain or they're just unhappy or just fatigued, B vitamins are key. Then L-theanine is truly one of my favorite parts of Axio. It is helps to promote a sustained energy without overstimulation. Like you can even take it in the evening. Some like adrenal calming supplements even have L-theanine in them because it helps to kind of chill you out, and it doesn't necessarily put you to sleep. So it is so great in the fact that it can give you that kind of focus, that laser focus that so many of us are looking for. And quercetin is just really nice for so many things besides its antioxidant function and helping the cell wall. It can help to dry us up if we're a little bit mucousy, and it's really great on a lot of fronts. So many benefits to the combination of these factors together. And lastly, there are a couple things with trying Axio. I believe that it's definitely one of the best ways to have a quick experience with our products. It takes way less education for people to grasp what it does. It has an immediate effect. I'd give people 3 to 5 packs if you can swing it. It's not a pill to be swallowed. There are, as a reminder, 3 caffeinated, 2 decaf flavors. I usually recommend adding it to at least 12 ounces of water. I actually make it last a little bit longer by spreading it out into 12, more like 16 to 20 ounces of water. And there are some folks who have told me that from a compliance factor with their children, because of literally the benefit, sometimes people don't like, stevia or the flavor or whatever. I've had a couple of distributors tell me that they put it into like 3 or 4 ounces and toss it back because of the air quotes medicinal value. And do not consume this within 1 to 2 hours of your NRF2. It will literally affect the ratio, the perfect ratio we have in NRF2. So I know I spoke really fast, but I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to everybody. And I hope that helps. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Kat. That was amazing. And that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for spending some time on a Sunday night. Great to see all your lovely faces, and have an amazing week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Can I ask a quick question? Hello?